When it comes to the unemployment and labor market, Minnesota is above average. Though our unemployment rate rose to 3.1% in March, it's still lower than the national unemployment rate of 4.2%. And here in Minnesota, our labor force participation rate is at 68.2%, which is also better than the national rate of 62.5%. But that doesn't mean our work on that front is done. Joining me now is DFL Senator Susan Pha, who is tasked with improving the state's economic outlook through workforce development, unemployment compensation, and other strategies. Senator, thank you for being here.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Senator, through your work on the Jobs and Economic Development Committee, you hear from a variety of businesses and owners, and you've talked personally about how small businesses play a crucial role in their communities. Does their impact reach farther than that? How big of an impact do they have on us statewide?
Yeah, so in Minnesota, we have 525,000 small businesses that employs about 45 to 50% of our entire workforce, which is fantastic. As a small business owner myself, someone who's been an entrepreneur my entire adult life, I know how important small businesses are and entrepreneurs are in our communities. Small businesses really boost the economy of their local economy, wherever they're placed. But not only that, but they do impact the entire Minnesota economy. So they're super important in our state.
That 45 to 50% number is incredible for us. It must mean that we have a very welcoming community for those type of businesses. But what kind of challenges do the small businesses and entrepreneurs face here?
I think the biggest challenges they have is really access to funding. So banking resources, and then also technical assistance, whether that's legal advice or just business advice in general. You have to have the funds in order to get access to some of those professional services. And so I think that's a challenge for our small businesses, especially for the really small businesses that are under 5 employees.
Yeah, well, you mentioned technical assistance and advice, and you have a bill kind of targeting that. You have Senate File 1521, which asks to maintain the current funding for the state's Small Business Assistance Partnership Program. So talk to me about what that program does and what successes it has seen.
Yeah, so that program, we were trying to give it more funding this year above its $12.8 million base funding. But, this year's a hard budget year, and so we weren't able to do that. But we're hoping that it will still be able to make an impact on our small businesses, especially those that need, again, the technical assistance. Those funding goes out to our nonprofits and our local governments to work with small businesses. So we're hoping that through that program, we will be able to reach those small businesses that need that help.
Yeah, help them succeed.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the smaller businesses, but do we have anything this session that aims at enticing bigger businesses to relocate here or retaining the ones we do have?
We love to keep our businesses that are here that are strong employers. But the number one thing we have to think about is skills and talent. And so that's really important. That means investing in people to make sure that they're able to develop the skills and develop new skills as jobs change. So that's really important, and that's what we've heard from our employers.
I love that phrase, investing in people. So the omnibus bill are out. We passed that third deadline. So what priorities or initiatives did the committee's resources focus on the most this session?
This session, we're focusing mainly on workforce development, on education, small business technical assistance, and really about economic growth. Senator Champion has been a huge advocate when it comes to making sure that we take care of all Minnesota businesses and entrepreneurs, and honestly, Minnesotans. We're giving them the opportunities to succeed and to start up a business or to make sure that their business thrives. And I really believe that this year's omnibus bill does that.
Well, speaking of the resources, budget targets came out and your committee received an increase in its funding over the next few fiscal years. So why do you think that was the case?
I think that the reason why we got an increase is because we know that we have to invest in our small businesses and in our economy if we want our economy to be strong. And if we stop investing, that also means that our economy is going to start seeing a decline, and we don't want that to happen. We know that at the federal level, there's all kinds of cuts, so that means that we can't have those cuts here. We have to make those investments.
That's right. They say you have to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah.
Switching slightly to Minnesota's workforce, we've been told that our workforce is aging out, and that's giving us some shortages across a variety of industries. So is there anything we can do at the state level to help with that?
We know that multiple professions are vulnerable to our aging population. So we have to make sure that we address that. One of the things that we have this year is called the Resilience Partnership, which helps people who are displaced due to whether it's age, skills, divorce, unplanned job loss, for them to get back into the workforce. So that's really important. The other bill that I am sponsoring is the Carts to Career bill, and that helps workers with training to meet specific licensure and skills to help them to advance in their career. So those are just two examples, but there's so much that we're doing this year to make sure that people are developing those skills and continuing to build on their skills so that they can remain in the workforce or that they can move across careers if that's what they choose to do.
Senator, you're also on the Housing and Homelessness Prevention Committee, and you've supported housing bills and reform packages. So talk to me about the intersection between these committees and how lifting one up might lift the other.
Workforce development helps people build on their skills, which means that they can get higher paying jobs, livable wage jobs. And when that happens, that also means that there's stability in housing. Higher pay, affordable housing, it really goes hand in hand, because now we don't have to worry about people not being able to afford the homes that they depend on for stability for their families. The other thing is that we invested $1 billion into housing in 2023, many of it targeting new development, new housing development, and affordable housing development. And so I think that really goes hand in hand, because when we invest $1 billion, that also means jobs. That also means construction jobs in every trade that comes along with that. And so it really is hand in hand.
Senator, I know that the the housing and homelessness omnibus bill was just approved on the floor this week, so congratulations. Is there anything else you'd like to say on these topics?
In my district specifically, we're funding a program called Brooklynk, and it's one that's close to my heart. I actually, before coming to the Senate, I was a city council member and vice mayor in my city of Brooklyn Park for 6 years. And Brooklynk was really close to me because I worked with the youth there. That's a program that helps youth develop opportunities that they can get internships, they can get work experience, they can get mentorship. It's so important for us to get our young people connected to those opportunities, because they're going to be our future workforce. And so that's a project that I love and that's close to me.
Oh, well, thank you for talking about that, Senator, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.